Dylan Clark returned to his winning ways at Watkins Glen with Jacob Clemens in hot pursuit. Meanwhile, championship rivals Carson Burrows and Gunther Gretzinger were losing ground in a midfield brawl that saw Josh Mertz surprise and finish third in his OSRL Cup Series debut. ASN presents DC Designs 150 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Charlotte Motor Speedway, located in Concord, North Carolina, is a prominent motorsports complex known for its rich history and diverse racing events. But our venue for tonight is the virtual 1.5-mile quad oval track, which becomes synonymous with high-speed NASCAR action. Opened in 1960, the speedway boasts a seating capacity exceeding 80,000, providing fans with electrifying views of races like the Coca-Cola 600. The track features 4 turns, each banked at 24 degrees, which allows drivers to maintain high speed throughout the course. The front stretch, measuring 1,980 feet, and the back stretch at 1,500 feet, provide ample opportunities for drafting and overtaking, contributing to the intense and strategic nature of the races. The format for the OSRL Cup Series is as follows. The drivers are currently running a 2-lap solo qualifying session to determine the grid for our 100-lap, 150-mile race. We will have stage points awarded to the top 10 at the completion of lap 40, and just like NASCAR, a caution will be thrown. The inaugural season of the OSRL Cup Series rolls on, live on the Automotive Sports Network. With Victor Vallee in the production truck and Cody Erdmann next to me in the commentary box, my name is Halsey, as we welcome you to the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. Cameras all season on ASN are brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/whiplashmedia. Thank you, Andrew Cardinal IV, for your continued camera support. Ready to leave your competition in the dust? Look no further than DC Designs, your ultimate pit stop for custom racing paint schemes that scream speed and style. Visit Dylan Clark on Trading Paints for all the information regarding your next paint. Let's bring Cody Erdmann on into the booth with us. Cody, we saw last week Dylan Clark return to victory lane for his 3rd victory of the season. Do you think he gets win number 4 tonight, or do you think someone else might end up in victory lane?
It's very well possible here as Dylan is sitting up on top of the speed chart right now here in practice as we're just finishing up practice here. So he was fastest overall, although we do have a couple newcomers with David Gerard IV and Max Ford sitting 2 and 3 in practice, and then Jacob Clemens and Deegan Euclides is sitting rounding out top 5 in practice. So gonna get qualifying here and see who can kind of stack up against Mr. Clark and see if we can give him a run for his money finally.
Absolutely. This is going to be a 1-lap qualifying here tonight, so a 1-shot lap. You better give it your all on that 1 lap to try to get the best you can. We're currently following along with Gunther Gretzinger in the 22 car, currently sitting 2nd in the point standings. Has had an impressive run of top 5 finishes this year. He's been competitive in nearly every race. Hasn't quite had the race-winning pace. He's definitely gotten it on strategy. Let's see if tonight maybe he can get some pace in him.
Yeah, he's been really good on the 1.5 miles like we're here tonight. So I think he could be a really kind of a dark horse to be battling with Dylan Clark. He showed really good pace at Atlanta and Fontana, and I think Atlanta would be the best kind of telltale speed-wise. But with us having a couple newcomers, we'll see what they will rack up against our season regulars.
Absolutely. As that 22 of Gunther Gretzinger comes around, he's going to clock a 30.117. That is enough for a provisional pole. And Jeffrey Seymour immediately beats that with 29.975. Here is Dylan Clark coming around. And let's see, I don't believe that was, no, it was a lap for him, a 29.696 for that 34 car. That will put him on provisional pole. Jeffrey Seymour looking pretty quick as well in that 9 car with a 29.975, an impressive lap for the 9 car.
Yeah, Jeffrey running a couple tenths off of Dylan there, and then Brandon Lavin and Josh Mertz so far. So as some more cars are starting to get on track here.
As ASN Zone Josh Mertz said last week in his interview that it seemed like it was going to be a one-off for him in the Glen, but here he is again this week. I guess he enjoyed brushing off the helmet enough, he decided to brush it off again.
Yeah, and I think he had so much fun last week. He asked to come join me on in my stock car series I run on Mondays. So I think the stock car bug has bit him.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, once you get running with, especially with these stock cars, it is fantastic. As we have a new driver on pole, Max Ford, who is driving a Chevy, is gone to the top of the speed charts, 29.641. His first career race in the OSRL Cup Series, and he's already in the top spot.
Yeah, Max. Like I said, Max was pretty quick in practice there. He was right up there with Dylan, within a couple tenths of him. So, or within, I think it was even within a tenth. So, really good speed out of him. As Chris Wilkie goes up to P3 with a 29.972, just beating out Jeffrey Seymour.
That is a nice lap for the driver out of South Carolina, the number 3 of Chris Wilkie. He's a regular over in the OSRO GT series as well, where he's been pretty fast, showing some really nice pace here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're looking on board, Gunther, a couple drivers here just running some extra laps. Kind of the fun thing with iRacing. The one that may only count, but you can get a little bit of extra practice for a couple of the late arrivals.
Absolutely. Now, it looks like there is one car on track I see who hasn't gotten a lap in yet. We have the 67 of Peter Hope, who is on track in that all-black car, running around. Like he is coming around to take his time this time by. Let's see when he comes on. I believe he is the only one on track at the moment who is actually running for a lap. There it is. It's going to be a 30.158, a pretty solid lap. Going to put him squarely in the middle of the field at 8th place.
Yeah, good lap time there. From previous experience, I have noticed that qualifying here at Charlotte is kind of tricky because there's different line options you can use. The top of 1 and 2 is pretty quick, especially when there's more heat in the track. But with us running at nighttime, I think the bottom is probably be more preferred, especially on a short run. But once we get racing here, we're going to be spread out from line to wall.
Absolutely, as it looks like qualifying is getting wrapped up here. About 5 seconds left. So it looks like we're going to have a new winner of the pole award.
Yeah, we had Chevy locking out the front row, and then we have a Toyota and Ford. And then a set of Fords for row number 3.
Like all the cars here are starting to get gridded up for us. In memorial of Memorial Day weekend that just happened this past weekend before tonight's race, we would like to take a moment of silence to remember and honor the brave men and women who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. thank everyone for participating with us at home. Tonight, as we race in honor of the men and women who have served this country, Dylan Clark took a moment to share with us who he is racing for pre-race. Quote, "I want to take this opportunity to thank someone who has always been a big part of my life. My grandpa, Jim Savage. He was an E3 Lance Corporal in the United States Marine Corps during the Cuban Missile Crisis and was on the front line for it. He was on the ships that blocked the Russians from getting missiles onto the island. I'm carrying his name on my car for Charlotte. He's still around and healthy, but I just want to thank him for his service and keeping the world safe during that time of crisis. For my family, to everyone who has served, currently serves, and will serve, thank you." Thank Dylan for his kind words. I, one as well, have multiple family members in the military, and I am always very appreciative of everything they do for us. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we are today.
And I second those thoughts as well, as we are getting ready to go green here.
Absolutely. We are coming out of turn 3 here, getting ready to go green tonight for our 75 lap, 150 mile race. Max Ford, driving a Chevy, will be leading the field to the green flag. Alongside him will be Dylan Clark, Chris Wilkie, and Jeffrey Seymour riding right behind them. We'll look to be trying to get a jump as the pace car will roll off as we head for the restart zone. And green flag is in the air at Charlotte for the DC Designs 150. Great start there for Max Ford in the Chevy as he's going to get out in front of Dylan Clark and clear him quite nicely. Side by side for third place there. That is going to be the 21 of Jacob Plemons and the 10 of Brianna Lavin. Excuse me, that is the 9 of Jeffrey Seymour. I guess when you have similar looking paints there, I guess color swapped. I misread that one.
Yeah, as Plemons looking up the inside, still working on him.
You know,
Seymour, sorry.
Behind them there, that is Jacob Plemons in the 21, Chris Wilkie in the 3, and that is also the 2 of Josh Mertz, all quite clustered up. Ooh, Chris Wilkie got really tight there in between turns 1 and 2. Nearly got into Jacob Plemons. It might actually look like it might have made a little contact there.
As Mertz looking to capitalize underneath Wilkie here, although Mertz gets tight up the hill a little bit. It's definitely trying to keep it on that bottom is really hard, especially through 3 and 4. Entry of 3, the car just wants to wash up the hill. You really got to paint that line because we're driving off into 1 here. Still door-to-door between these two.
Absolutely. That seems to be the theme so far at the start of this race. A lot of cars get very tight early.
Yeah, the high line's really going to come into play here, especially over the long run. You're able to make a ton of passes, so if you can get kind of to someone's right rear quarter, you're able just to kind of work right around them.
As here we are now watching a battle right here between Gunther Gretzinger in the 22 and Deegan Urquidez in the 23. Ooh, that was close there. That might have been a little bit of netco contact. Great save right there by the 22 to keep it going straight.
As we're looking back, got a couple drivers getting really close here as we're jumping back up front to Brand. Oh, Brand getting a little loose on the bottom there, catching that line.
Caught the apron, it looks like, there on the inside. That will allow the 21 of Jacob Plemons to go on by.
As this will put Brand out of the top 5 here. Most of the drivers running their fastest lap times right now.
Mertz. Right here, side by side, it looks like Mertz will tuck in behind Chris Wilkie.
I'll say so far Wilkie's had the roughest start. He's lost 4 spots from the start of this race. So I think just kind of getting stuck in the wrong line, but now he's kind of in a rhythm here. Just a hair off the back bumper of the 10 car.
I'll tell you, someone who has been moving, the 23 of Deegan Urquidez, up 3 spots already since the start of this race. He is moving quite quickly. Peter Hopp in the 67 is up 4 spots since the start of the race. Although the biggest mover award so far belongs to Casey Tomlinson in the 1, started 18th and is up 12, up 6 spots.
Yeah, Casey's running really good lap times here. He was actually the fastest car that last lap, and looks like he's again one of the only drivers in the 29.4s. Everyone else is in the 5s and above. So really good lap times by the 1 car. As Mertz looking on the inside of Wilkie, has nothing for him. Now he's going to go to the top side. Deegan's going to look to his inside.
Look at this very tight quarters racing so far. Not even 10 laps in. Everyone's still pretty close. I don't think anyone has really gotten away, per se. The 6 of Max Ford in the Chevy is up almost about a second on Dylan Clark, but everyone else is kind of in a freight train behind him.
Yeah, the lap times are running pretty equal throughout the field. Everyone ran either a 5 or a 6 that last time, so cars are fairly equal right now. Let's see who's just going to use up a little bit too much right front.
Two of the DUI drivers right there. That's the 9 of Jeffrey Seymour and the 21 of Jacob Plemons side by side. That is for the 4th position on track. And Plemons will complete the pass on his teammate.
Yeah, Plemons is running really well here. Moving back up to one spot above where he started for the race. Now he set this sight on Peter Hope.
He kind of took a drop there at the beginning of the race, but he's definitely been working his way back up. As now Jeffrey Seymour's under attack from the 10 of Brianna Lavin as well. Oh, and there's going to be contact right there. Here's Seymour checked up a lot more than Lavin thought he was going to, as the 3 of Chris Wilkie will now take a look to the inside.
As Brianna goes up to the top of the racetrack, but now runs down the bank and trying to get the run. Pulls up alongside Chris here, right on, ooh, really close.
That bumper to bumper right there. I'm hearing on the comms as well, Jeffrey Seymour is taking blame for that. He must have checked up a bit in the corner, and Brianna wasn't expecting that.
And now Brianna's going to have a really good run down the back straightaway here. And she used that high lane. Definitely something I've noticed is that the high lane in 1 and 2 is better than 3 and 4. 3 and 4, it's pretty equal from bottom to top, just because it kind of narrows up off the corner. But the top, you get that nice long run down the back straightaway, so you can use it to set up passes going off in the 3.
Absolutely. As Josh Merckx is going to take your theory true here, he's going to look like he was taking a look to the outside there. Chris Wilkie's going to think better of it and hop down to the inside. Second place points position right now is held by the 22 of Gunther Gretzinger. He is looking all over the bumper of that 23 Deacon Urquidez. That is a battle currently for the 9th spot. So stage points on the line right there, which could definitely come into play later this season. Gunther is quite comfortably in the playoff battle. Deegan is a bit closer to that cutoff line. He is in, but it's not by much, as the 9 of Jeffrey Seymour got quite loose off turn 2 there.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to start watching points and where everybody's sitting going for the playoffs, as we're running pretty short going into the playoffs. As we got a car going through the grass there a little bit.
That was Deegan Urquidez in the 23. And that is now opened up the door behind them side by side between June Gonzalez in the 5 and Casey Tomlinson in the 1. Gonzalez will clear there.
Turn 4 can be really tricky, especially when you're too wide. It narrows up so quickly. It tends to surprise people. Mertz runs a top lane, and Gunther just drives right on by.
Well, the man on a mission right now is Jacob Plemons. You said earlier, Cody, he was hunting down Peter Hope, and here he is side by side on the inside line, and he is just going to muscle around him there and take over the 3rd spot.
Yeah, Plemons running really good lap times right now, just keeping a good rhythm. Now he's going to set his sights on Dylan Clark.
Welcome to 34, running a special patriotic paint scheme tonight. Looks very nice, I must say. Always like seeing the patriotic schemes come out here for Charlotte. It just makes sense.
Yeah, we have a couple more as well, I have noticed. The 1 card of Casey definitely is one of them. And then I noticed one other one.
I believe the 82 of Nicholas Fortini is running a
yes, that was the other one I was thinking of.
As we saw there, the previous lap there, kind of in the background, the 67 of Peter Hope got into the wall outside on the exit at turn 4.
We have contact between the 51 and the 5. They've been banging doors all of 3 and 4.
That looks like a wadded up mess in the back as the 51 going around the outside. David Durant Jr. in his OSRL Cup Series debut. As, oh boy, that looked close there. The 5 of Gonzalez kind of came up right on the nose of 12th Carson Burrows there.
That's one person I'm surprised is not doing better. Is Carson Burrows, I believe he was our early point leader almost for the series, and now he's barely trying to get in the top 10. I don't know if this is just not one of his racetracks or
side by
what's
side,
going
right
on tonight.
One of them there, the 51 of David Duran says, "Give me more." Now he's coming for the 2 of Josh Mertz. Mertz did make contact with the outside wall on the entry of turn 1, slowed up his momentum a little bit, but it looks like he's getting it back running that outside lane.
Yeah, Mertz, big
might
time
hit the
slide
wall
there.
Again, boy, that was close. Looks like we may have a battle for the lead, and indeed we do. The 34 of Dylan Clark looking to the inside of the 6 of Max Ford driving a Chevy. Side by side, it's a drag race down the backstretch.
Yes, Ford was 2/10 off that last lap, so definitely used up a little bit of that right front.
Here he is.
Now Dylan trying to work on that inside.
The bottom of the track there, but Clark might have the momentum. Down the front straightaway. Side by side here, I think Ford led the lap barely by .017. Man, my goodness, that was close.
And with these two battling, like it's just letting Plemons and Hope reel him right in. They were 2/10 faster that last lap, so they're reeling him in.
Down the backstretch, Clark is going to fall back in line. We're coming to 10 to go in the stage this time by, and we got 4 cars that might have a shot at the stage win here.
As Ford seemed like he got a little bit tight in the center there and a little loose off, so definitely used up those tires a little bit trying to run away from the field.
Absolutely. Dylan Clark might try to pull a crossover move. He used the outside line in turn 2, and he's going to use that momentum down the backstretch. Let's see if he's able to clear Max Ford.
Ooh, get a little bit tight on entry.
Ford going to hold his own on that outside. Boy, look, there's a drag race to the line, and Ford just barely leads the lap again.
Yeah, that time was by 14 1/1000ths of a second that last lap.
My goodness, it is narrow. So far, Dylan Clark, he looks like he's led the race at times, but he has not led a lap. Seemingly Ford gets him every time at the start-finish line.
Yeah, that outside lane, like I said, later in on these runs, just the outside becomes more and more dominant.
And here comes
makes it harder to pass.
Jacob Plemons and the 67 of Peter Hope. They have fought right up to the bumper here at Dylan Clark. Plemons might start making a move. Clark might not be able to be as offensive as he was before. He might have to start playing some defense here.
Yeah, and definitely have to watch for some aero blocking as well. These cars definitely like having some clean air on the front end of these cars, so these drivers running all in lines is not going to help them trying to get around each other.
So this is a fantastic battle, though we do have a battle for the 5th position between Jeffrey Seymour and Brianna Lavin side by side going into turn 1.
As these two just cannot get away from each other.
Oh, they cannot. We have a few other battles as well. That is the 12 of Carson Burrows going by the 23 of Deegan Urquidez. Burrows is up quite a few spots. He's actually up 9 positions since the start of this race. Started 17th, is now running 8th. Maybe he took what you said about him there, Cody, and took it personally.
Apparently, yeah, he's just been driving through the field. I don't know if he just had a bad qualifying run, maybe?
Well, we are side by side for Lee again, but this time Dylan Clark has that outside line. He has not had that yet. It has been Max Ford, and with that, new leader, the number 34 of Dylan Clark, who has won 3 races this season, is now back out front and is gunning for his 4th win, as here comes the 21 of Jacob Plemons as well, looking on the 6 of Max Ford.
Yeah, Plemons definitely needs to make quick work here, and Max to try to get back to Dylan Clark, although Peter on the outside getting a run. Ooh, Peter off the wall.
The 67 hard into the outside wall there. Looks like he was following Max through the tri-oval there and just misjudged it just a little bit.
Although still able to keep up the run off the corner and clears Plemons here. So I'll see if Hope can do anything with Max as well. Although Plemons fighting back on the inside here. Ooh, really close off the exit.
Side by side for 3rd place with only about 4 laps to go in the stage. Every point matters, especially for some of these newer drivers who have a lot of ground to make up if they're going to want to make the playoffs.
Yeah, really close battling here. Every point counts, especially for some of these drivers that are trying to make it into the playoffs.
Meanwhile, we do have almost a 3-wide battle for the final stage point. The 23 of Deegan Urquidez, the 5 of June Gonzalez, and the 51 of David Durand. And they're going to be 3 wide coming out of turn 4.
Oh, this gets very tight here. Oh, a little bit more contact.
Contact. The 51 of David Durand pushes his way through.
I think the 5 and the 51 has made door-to-door contact about 8 times, and I think we're going to try to make it 9 here.
Okay, here we go. Now June Gonzalez pushing on the back of that 51. He's going to use that outside line. Not quite going to be able to get up to him there. But June Gonzalez currently is holding the final stage point at the moment. The 82 of Nicholas Fortini is also getting into this battle. He's going to go down to the inside to try to get this final stage point.
Yeah, it seems like Gonzalez used up that right front. It does not want to turn in the center of the corner. It just washes up the racetrack. Some of his competitors are going to have to keep an eye on it. Ooh, as the 23 gets contact with the 82.
Meanwhile, battle for third up at the front of the field as we have 1 lap to go on the stage. Jacob Clemens has shot around the 67 of Peter Hope, and he currently now runs third. Oh, sorry. Okay, so the stage is actually at lap 40, not at lap 30. I'm hearing that through my headset. Yeah, Victor Vallee in the production truck telling me that the stage is at the end of lap 30 is indeed at lap 40. So we have 10 laps to go in the stage.
Yeah. Numbers and words are hard.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
The front has kind of calmed down here a little bit. As the mid-pack war is still raging on.
Look at that. A couple of cars back there. 4 cars under a blanket. You have the 23 of Deegan Urquidez, the 2 of Josh Mertz, the 1 of Casey Tomlinson, and the 3 of Chris Wilkie, who qualified third, is now running 15th. Not sure what happened there. I'm not sure if it's pace or if he got into the wall at some point, but that is quite a big drop for the number 3.
Yeah, Mertz and Wilkie have kind of faded on this run. I know we've seen Mertz unfortunately tag the wall a couple times, especially out of turn 4, which, like I said, gets super tight, but just definitely really hard mid-pack battle we've seen. Everyone's pushing for every inch, especially these drivers on the potential cutoff line of the playoffs.
Absolutely. Fortini goes around the 5 of June Gonzalez there. That is, I believe, for the final stage point. It is. Fortini now holding the 10th and final position in the stage. Meanwhile, we may have a battle for second brewing up front. The 21 of Jacob Clemens and the 67 of Peter Hope have caught the 6 of Max Ford. We'll see if they might have a run here as we come to the end of the stage.
Yeah, very well could be. As we only have 2, we have Talladega and Richmond left. So obviously Talladega, the wild card, and then Richmond. So only 2 races after this one left for the playoffs. So yeah, every point matters.
Absolutely. And right now, as they run, or well, not as they run, but coming into this race, Dylan Clark obviously coming in as your points leader with 3 wins on the season. Gunther Gretzinger sits second. Bruce Silva is third, who I don't believe is here tonight. Carson Burrows fourth. Jeffrey Seymour fifth. As we're side by side there, Jacob Clemens moves up into the second spot. Looks like Max Ford might have gotten into the wall there as I was reading off the point standings.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it. Yeah, I'm kind of glancing as well. Fortunately, Vincent Sowers is not here, so they may fall out of the playoffs at the moment, depending on how provisional and everything work. Wesley Woods is our last one.
Is the next driver outside the picture who is here tonight. He is currently, I believe, running 11th. He might find himself in a playoff position. Wesley Woods is currently the cutoff line. June Gonzalez is 6 points behind him.
Which there's only 6 points. Yeah, there's only 6 points between them two. So, like we said, every point matters. And going into Talladega is a complete wild card. We do not know what is going to happen.
Absolutely. Here as we have another side-by-side battle. That is the 51 of David Durand and the 82 of Nicholas Fortini. That 82 car has been moving up these past couple laps. He's definitely seemingly had a long-run car. It looks like he's been picking them off left and right.
Yeah, Fortini's kind of gotten it in his rhythm here, just running his line, running his race, and it's definitely helping him. He's moved into P9 now. Let's see if he can run down
this
P8.
cluster of cars right here.
As these four cannot get away from each other.
Yeah, 23 again. 23 Deegan Urquides, the 3 of Chris Wilkie, the 2 of Josh Burton, the 1 of Casey Tomlinson, the 11 of Wesley Woods just behind them as well, looking to maybe get in on this battle as well. This is currently a battle for the 12th position.
As most of these drivers are liking the high line right now. It looks like Mertz is trying to push Deegan here. Oh, a little bit of contact between the 2 and the 3.
Look at that. That was pretty close. That could have been catastrophic there going down the front stretch.
Is now Mertz the only one running the high line here. Let's see what kind of run he gets down the back straightaway. Getting a little bit free up off the corner. Definitely that little bit of wall contact has not helped the handling of that race car, though. Now he pulls clear of the 3 car.
On the inside. And I'm hearing that the 9 car of Jeffrey Seymour appears to might have a meatball flag. I'm not. Oh, look at that. He's got some big damage there. It looks like he might have had some hard contact with the wall.
Ooh, is he sliding up him? Just kissing the wall there again? Yeah, I could very much see. Ooh, yeah, he's in the wall.
Look at that. He's
definitely suspension issues
on that car. Thankfully, it is the last lap of the stage, so he won't have to wait long here to come in. It looks like he's just gonna kind of hold it down until the end of stage. Which, coming out of turn 4 here, the 34 of Dylan Clark will come around and win the stage at Charlotte.
Although, like we were saying, Seymour is only...
Go ahead.
I would say, like we were saying, though, Seymour is only a couple spots ahead, and he's 10 points ahead of the cutoff line, so bleeding these points with that damage is not going to help him.
Absolutely. Yeah, Dylan Clark, Jacob Clemens, Max Ford, Peter Hope, and Brianna Lavin round out the top 5 at the end of stage. Gunther Gretzinger, Jeffrey Seymour, Carson Burrows, Nicholas Fortini, and David Durand Jr. round out your top 10. As everybody will now go start soul searching for the pace car, as that is probably waiting for them on the backstretch. And as we come up to the back of the pace car here, we'll take this opportunity to step aside for a second. You won't miss a thing.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to NordVPN.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
definitely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds it.
Side between these two in turn one. This is going to get spicy.
Turn one, over the jump to begin the first lap, clog at the inside line. McFarland contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. Over in the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn one, up heading to the inside of Magnus, gives him a nudge. Grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Rocky's going to hold his power.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the OSRL Cup Series for the DC Designs 150 here at Charlotte. Tonight's race is brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams and DC Designs. As we are coming out of turn 4 here, getting ready to take the green flag. 34 of Dylan Clark will lead us there with Brianna Lavin to his outside, who used a little bit of pit strategy to gain some positions. As we are back green for the DC Designs 150 at Charlotte. Dylan Clark with a fantastic start there, going to get quite clear of Lavin in the 10. Side by side for third place between the 21 of Jacob Clemens and the 6 of Nex Ford driving a Chevy.
As we got about 55 laps on this run, so a little bit longer than we did the last time, as Clemens and Ford banged doors off into 3.
And Clemens got really tight there on the inside. Another thing to note as well, while we were under break, as you know, the 9 of Jeffrey Seymour got caught up in the wall, had a meatball flag that needed to be cleared. He did not come down in time to serve his penalty. He was DQ'd from the race. So big implications there, as Seymour was on the cut line there for the playoffs. So every point matters at the end of the season. So that might be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, definitely not going to help. And unfortunately, as we were just looking on the 67 of Peter Hope back to P7 with that pit stop cycle. Must have been fixing some damage and working on that car. So let's see if Peter can drive back up through the field.
That run, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was for fixing some damage. As the field getting turned out here, the crossover move by the 6 there. He made a move on Clemens, did not quite complete it. Gunther Gretzinger, who was running around the mid-pack for most of this race, has now moved up all the way to 5th. Carson Burrows as well, who was riding around the back, he is caught up as well, running now in the 7th position. Side by side with Peter Hope in the 67.
As we see our usual up-front drivers kind of rising back to the top 5, along with a couple of our newcomers here. Definitely like seeing the competition kind of strengthen up here as we head off into the playoffs. kind of have an idea who may be our final championship favorites. As obviously we know Dylan Clark's been on a tear winning some races, but we're seeing some drivers kind of keep with them here. Definitely like seeing what they're learning.
Hanging on here with the 34, Dylan Clark. Dylan Clark has not been able to get away. Let's see if Brianna might have anything for Clark here.
Yeah, the top 7 are all within a second of each other right now. Obviously, we'll see what happens once drivers start burning off tires, but so far so good with kind of these drivers keeping up with Dylan here.
Well, side by side for the 5th position back there. Gunther Gretzinger in the 22, Peter Hope in the 67, still side by side. Have not been able to shake each other just yet. And as I say that, the 67 will take the spot. You know, Brianna Laban has, I don't know what happened, just dropped 2 spots there. I'm not sure if she took the wrong line or got loose. But just like that, Plemons and Ford went right around.
I believe Plemons just kind of pulled up to the back bumper and took a little bit of the air off the spoiler because they were getting really tight off of 2. As now Plemons has already pulled up to the back bumper of Clark, although a little bit of blinking that hurt Ford big time.
Yeah, that
now Ford's going to drop a couple spots.
Killed all of Ford's momentum as he had to check up. He was right behind the 21 there, and then all of a sudden he disappeared from in front of him. Boy, Cody Erdmann, there's nothing worse than having a driver in front of you just blink suddenly. It is nerve-wracking.
Absolutely, as we're seeing Plemons put on some absolute pressure here for Clark. Clark hasn't felt this much pressure in a while. Right on the back bumper of him.
Calm and collected up there, though. Not really a whole lot of movement around from him. Clemens seems to be all over the place trying to find somewhere to go. But Clark is just running his line, just kind of keeping the pace.
Yeah, I wonder if Plemons is kind of going to school here a little bit, trying to understand where he's able to set up a pass on Dylan Clark.
Clark takes a wide entry there to try to block off that high side, or to try to block Plemons from going up there. Now these two were the class of the field last week as well, finished 1-2 in that race. Once again, they're shaping up for that again, although Plemons, of course, trying to reverse the scale here.
Yeah, Plemons is keeping right with them. And along with the rest of these drivers, it's kind of calmed back down now. And like I said, the top 7 all within a second, and top 10 within 2 seconds. So most of these drivers kind of understood what they needed to do for this long run, so they're putting it to good work.
Absolutely. Our longest run so far has been the 40 laps. We haven't had any cautions for incident as of yet. I'll knock on wood. I'm sure we don't have one. But now we're going to have a much longer run, about 55 laps of green flag running. Do you think we're going to be able to make it here on a fuel run, Cody Erdmann?
I believe we will. It's definitely going to be a little bit close. I think maybe 60, I think might have been max.
Think there'd be any incentive to try to split this stage? Maybe hope for a caution to get someone be able to kind of push a little more while everyone else is saving? Never mind, we're going to have a side-by-side battle for the lead right here. Jacob Plemons has found just a small sliver underneath the 34 Dylan Clark, and they are now side-by-side. And here comes the 10 of Brianna Laban as well.
Yeah, everyone getting a little bit antsy here now. As Plemons trying to work that bottom here. Getting a really good run off into 3, but tight, very tight.
So tight, he's going to make contact. They are rubbing on each other. And look at this gaggle of cars looking for room behind them.
Great racing throughout the whole field, giving just enough room. As we got 4 up top, 3 on the bottom now.
Are you sure we're not at Atlanta?
It definitely feels like it.
Look at this, 2x2, about 3 rows deep. Yeah, no, you're reading this right, folks. We're at Charlotte. We are not at a super speedway. They are just running very close right now.
It was Peter Hope, kind of that black car in the back kisses the wall. They'll give Burrows a chance to get around Peter. Ooh, really close between the 10 and the 21, off into 1 there. I think that outside line's starting to become the preferred line now. Cars are starting to get a little bit tight here.
You know, those two getting tight in 3 and 4 earlier, the 34 of Clark and the 21 Plemons, I think what really got Clark out in front, Brianna Lavin caught right up to him in 10, opted to push him instead of Plemons, and was able to kind of get Clark out in front here, Plemons.
Yeah, now that's just letting Clark start to walk away slowly.
Oh, slow cars. The one of Casey Tomlinson. There's a car in the infield as well as the 3 of Chris Wilkie. Appears to have run into an issue. Let's take a look at a replay. Oh, the one got into the wall there. Just nowhere to go for the 3 of Chris Wilkie.
As we stay green. Is the 10 and 21 still door to door, getting super close up off the exit?
Dylan Clark loves this. He is scooting away.
Yeah, this is not helping Plemons at all. Now Gunther's trying to capitalize on the situation. As Gunther's pulled up to the back bumper of these two.
They're riding the high side right behind Brianna Lavin. Got to kind of give her a shove out in front of the 21 of Jacob Plemons.
Ooh.
And Plemons going to get tight again. And it's going to force the 22 of Gunther Gretzinger up into the wall.
Yeah, a little bit of a kiss there. Not too much, though. I think Plemons is starting to get frustrated because everyone's starting to go around on the outside. It did seem like once Gunther got to the back bumper of the 10, it gave Brianna kind of a push and was able to clear Plemons there, so it's something to keep in mind. Ooh, Plemons missing the
Plemons
bottom.
going to get tight again there. They're going to be rubbing in turn 3 and 4. And then he's going to disappear. Oh my goodness, the 21 of Jacob Plemons has lagged out of the session. Oh no, he hasn't. I don't think so. But he has disappeared for a while. He is definitely gone. Oh, there he is. Wow. Usually
that was...
you're gone for that long. Usually you're long gone. He somehow stays in the session.
Definitely terrified if you were Gunther or Carson. As Carson's now pulling up to the back bumper here.
Carson Burrows now trying to get side by side with that 21 of Plemons. Yeah, that was an awful long time. That was about an entire half a lap.
Ooh, blink again. But now back. Well, Plemons got the run now off the corner.
Wow,
setting up the inside.
Run from blinking. I guess this is a NASCAR Heat Evolution all over again, where you could spam the pause button over and over again and actually gain a speed boost.
I wonder if it just helps him get a little bit of a clean air situation. Because now the
Honestly,
21.
You're probably right about that, because when you're blinking, you're still on the track, but every car in front of you disappears. So it might actually be giving him clean air, because everyone else in front of him disappears. That is an interesting theory right there.
As now the 21's working on the 10.
He's pulling off the racetrack. I guess he's getting out of the way of everybody here with these internet issues. I think he's going to resolve the problem here. Respectful move there for him to not try to ruin anybody else's race by blinking. So respectful move to get off of pit road there for the 21.
Absolutely. So they'll take one contender out of the top 10. So move Gunther and Carson and Max Ford up into the top 5.
Gunther up into the top 3. He has slowly and meticulously been working his way up this field. Started this race in 9th, finished, I believe, 5th in the stage. He's been quickly moving. I believe this is the highest he's been all day.
As I would agree, is now Dylan Clark has pulled out to a 1.6 second lead. So now he's starting to drive away slowly here. See if any of these drivers can reel him back in.
It appears Dylan Clark, knock on wood, will be joining us after the race once again, as he appears to, for probably about the 4th or 5th week in a row, be the class of the field here tonight.
As we kind of do have a new challenger in this battle, the 51 of David Duran Jr. He has joined up in the top 7 battle here. Running really good lap times.
I believe he finished 10th in the stage, the final 10th spot in the stage, and started 15th. So he has also been a quick mover, picking off cars, and here he is in this kind of lead battle now.
Yeah, he's trying to work on Max, him and Peter Hope. Peter Hope goes through the grass, trying to work on the back bumper of Max Ford here. Oh, Ford kisses the wall on entry. That's going to open the door for David on the bottom. See if David gets a run. I don't think he has enough. Just right to the left rear quarter panel. Trying to side draft it, but Max clears him off into 3.
Absolutely, there goes Max.
Oh, Max
Right,
loses the bottom, though. That should open up the door for David.
Oh, trouble for Brianna Lavin there. Really slow on the front stretch, just let 2 cars by.
And possibly a third with Max Ford on the bottom.
Oh, it is tight up here. About 6 or so cars under a blanket for the 2nd position. It is a hornet's nest behind Dylan Clark.
And David now able to pull door to door with the 6 car. Let's see if, although that's going to stack up with Brianna right in front of him. Brianna may be the pick. Max is ripping the fence here off the 2. See if Max, yep, Max is going to be able to clear Brianna here down the back straightaway. So unfortunately, the move that David tried setting up backfires on him.
And the 5 of Max Ford on the inside there. Oh, might be pitting here. He's pitting, so is Brianna Lavin, so pit strategy coming into play. We were talking about this at the beginning of the stage here, Cody Erdmann. Would anyone split the stage? And, well, here's your answer.
Yeah, I believe. I wonder if it was just on that edge of making it or not. And with having the fresh tires being a little bit of a difference here, the drivers have fallen off about a second to a second and a half.
Let's see if this tracks anybody else down pit road. Looks like the 11 of Wesley Woods has come down to make his pit stop as well. And oh, we have a car spinning. It looks like on the inside, and he's spinning on the racetrack. It's the 3 of Chris Wilkie. That will bring the caution out.
Yeah, definitely not what those drivers wanted to see.
Untimely caution for the 10 of Brianna Lavin and the 6 of Max Ford.
I'm kind of curious what happened there.
Looks like, oh, he was coming out of pits and he hit the bump. Hit a drain cover on the exit of pits and spun out into the middle of the racetrack.
I say, luckily nobody hit him, so it didn't end anyone's race. But yeah, just untimely caution for those that pitted. Now they're pretty much gonna be stuck a lap down.
A few cars a lap down. That Brianna Lavin, Max Ford, Jacob Clemens are lap down. Wesley Woods and Chris Wilkie are 2 down. And it appears the 2 of Josh Mertz came down just as that caution came out. So this might be some fantastic track position here for the 2 of Josh Mertz. What a timely caution for him.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes it'll backfire, but sometimes it'll play out just perfectly. If we believe what happened worked.
Stays out.
As we see most of the field pitting here.
Now, I don't know if that was me, but looks like Dylan Clark had quite a fast entry there. I'm not sure if everyone else was slow behind him, but it looked like he was kind of booking it in entry. I'm curious to see if that results in any kind of speeding penalty. That definitely looked fast for pit entry.
Yeah, it did seem a little bit quick, although there is kind of a sweet spot there where you're able to pick up the throttle a little bit and gain some time.
Oh, and he missed his pit stall. He just backed up into his pit stall.
As, yeah, this will put Josh Mertz to the lead here.
How about that? ASN zone. Josh Mertz is going to cycle out into the lead. And Gunther Gretzinger will lead the field off pit rows. Dylan Clark is going to lose a ton of spots there.
As it almost worked for Brianna Lavin as well. Should be able to cycle around with the wave around, but the one that worked out perfectly, which he kind of stole my move from last night because something similar happened, is, yeah, perfect pit stop, and
now, I'm hearing
when it timed out, now he's taking the lead.
Issue with Josh Mertz, I believe he might have left on a closed pit exit here, from what I might be hearing.
That could be possible.
That might have, honestly, it looked good for a second, but it might have backfired there, unfortunately for him. We'll see what comes out of the race control here and see what happens.
Although this will put Gunther Gretzinger up to P2. Oh, but Mertz pits here.
And it is going to penalize him there, unfortunately. It looks like for that closed pit stall. That is unfortunate. I think when he left, the pit exit closed. so it appears now we're hearing he came down pit road, the caution came out, and he did not stop. So that is why he cycled out to the lead. So now he will take his stop this time by. So that will cycle Gunther Gretzinger in the 22 to the lead.
Yeah, that slide through the box for Dylan Clark hurt him big time. Is now
that slides him all the way down to
P5.
Just that one little slide through his box brought him all the way down to 5th place. We know he has a fast car, but he really hasn't been in dirty air all day. So we'll see what dirty, especially since he's going to have 4 cars in front of him here. Let's see how his car handles in the dirty air.
Yeah, he's going to have about a little over 20 laps to work his way back up through the field.
The top 3 of the board. How about the 51 of David Duran Jr. started this race 15th, is up to the 3rd position now, and none of it has been on strategy or luck or anything like that. He has just worked his way up the field, and he now sits in the top 3.
Him and Carson Burrows. Burrows will be up 13 spots. He'll be once it slides Mertz out of the way in the standings. Yeah, he'll be up 13 spots. So them two both just been driving through the field.
Carson Burrows definitely took what you said earlier, Cody. He took that personally, and now, well, I think he's telling you where he belongs.
Well, sometimes you just need to have a little bit of outside influence to amp up the aggression a little bit, as we're doubling up here to go to green this time by.
Go green. And it appears bad night has gone worse for the 2 of Josh Mertz. It appears he may have gotten a speeding penalty on pit entry. My goodness, that is unfortunate. Looked like he caught a sliver of good luck, but boy, has hit derailed there. Now he's got a speeding penalty to add to that as well.
Well, and thankfully there's only 11 cars or 12 cars on the lead lap here, so and he's sitting P11, so not going to hurt him too much. But yeah, definitely what we thought could have been a good luck of the caution coming out for him, unfortunately did not play out as we thought. So see if Mertz can kind of drive back up in through the field a little bit.
Gretzinger finds himself in P1 coming out of turn 4, as we will come to take the green flag. He is sitting alongside the 67 of Peter Hope. Those two have been side by side for most of this race, and now they're starting it like that as well, as the pace car will pull off into the pit road. We'll come to the restart zone. And the green flag is back in the air here at Charlotte. Great start for the 22 of Gunther Gretzinger, who will get quite the jump over the 67 of Peter Hope going into turn 1. And here comes the 51 of David Durand as well. Look at this run the 51 has through turn 1 and 2.
Yes.
Oh, and there's a car sideways in the back. It's the 17 car of Aiden Coverbria. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Sideways on the backstretch. Meanwhile, we are side by side there near the lead. And here comes the 34 of Dylan Clark, who isn't waiting too long to get himself back up front.
As on the restart says, we go 3 wide here. Gunther sliding
wide
a little
for
bit.
second place.
Ooh, door
Heavy
to contact.
And look at this, the 23 of Deegan Urquidez. That's another new name up at the front. He's been running mid-pack all night. He finds himself up in second. And just like that, I mean, Dylan Clark just made it as if everyone was just standing still. He's already back out front.
Yeah, definitely doesn't have to save tires as much now. We only have about a 21-lap run here. So now everyone's going to be pushing a little bit harder. And Dylan Clark just running away now. He ran 2/10 faster that last lap.
Ooh, look at that. The 51 of David Durant. Almost running the 23 pretty close to the track there. Almost hit the quarter panel. And there's Josh Mertz.
As a good restart by Mertz. Unfortunately, the 12 just kissed the wall, so that with Mertz being on the bottom, he's able to get a little bit of a run here.
The 2 of Josh Mertz. Oh, hard into the outside wall! The 2 of Josh Mertz. Caution will come out, and slight contact. I think that's the 13 of Ryan Hartunian making contact. The 3 of Chris Wilkie is around.
Yeah, it seemed like Mertz just kissed too much of that apron and then unfortunately just turned the car right into the wall.
That was a hard lick right there for the 2 of Josh Mertz.
As we look at the replay here, yeah, Mertz running the bottom, just kisses that bottom and just hooks right.
Yeah, that was a very timely cut right there, moments before disaster. Oh my goodness, look at that contact.
Hard lick onto the outside wall. And unfortunately, his friend Ryan getting caught up with it. Next Gen's not the easiest cars to run around this place. Very edgy race cars, and just one little kind of wrong step of a tire, and you're just going to be, unfortunately, in the fence like what happened to Mertz there.
Now let's see as we come out of turn 4 here. That was a relatively short run. Do we see any takers to come down pit road? So far,
maybe
yes,
right?
See right there, Max Ford in the 6 is going to come down and get a fresh set of tires.
And along with Brandon Lavin, although Brandon did take the waiver on that last time, so now able to slap some 4 fresh tires on it.
Pit stop.
Yeah, able to slap some 4 fresh tires on it and see if we can rally some good points.
Slid all the way down to the 6th spot after coming out of that restart with the lead. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with the Josh Mertz issue.
I just think he possibly just kind of put himself in the wrong lanes and just kind of was able to kind of slide back, unfortunately. So see with the rear rack if he's able to get in a good lane and drive forward. These restarts are all about just kind of what lane you're in and the luck of if that lane's going forward or backwards, and hopefully you're in the one going forwards.
Absolutely. I guess I didn't knock on enough wood earlier when I said we had a long green flag run, because immediately about 10 laps into this one, we're back under yellow again. 2 cautions so far, 4 incident, and of course our stage caution, so a total of 3 cautions so far tonight, as we are coming to take about 17 laps to go in this one. Dylan Clark, once again, has been the class of the field. He has been dominating this race so far, but he's had some competition on this past green flag run here.
Yeah, and definitely with the re-rack and the restart, anything can happen. We could see David or Deegan or Carson try to capitalize on a good restart and get the run down the back straightaway. Especially someone like David or Peter Hope, where they've just showed up. This is their first race, so they're not really here for the championship. They're here just to get trophies. So something that Dylan needs to pay attention to.
Absolutely. It appears lights are still on the pace car, so we're going to have 2 more laps to go here until we...
As we're looking on through the field here, we currently now have 12 cars on the lead lap. Brianna Lavin is our last car on the lead lap. Her and Max Ford are the only 2 that has pitted.
And as we wait for the cars here to rack back up as we come, hopefully this time by, to take 1 to green, let's see if we could take this opportunity real quick to just run over some programming notes for the rest of the week here on ASN. So next week, the OSRL Cup Series rolls into Talladega Superspeedway. Round 7 will be on June 11th at 8:30 Eastern. You will be seeing the same crew as usual. That'll be myself, Cody Erdmann, and Victor Vallee. Also, just to note as well, the OSRL GT Series will be coming to its 5th season here. Round 1 at a track to be determined will be starting off June 13th. That'll be Thursday, June 13th. That, I believe, will be at 8:30 Eastern as well, and the crew for that race is to be determined. They're racking them up here.
Kind of looking through the points here a little bit. I think June Gonzalez and Wesley Woods they're going to be very tight on points as we run at the moment. Just kind of looking, and this is really going to help Deegan. Deegan's going to jump Jeffrey Seymour. with Jeffrey's incident early on in the race. As those drivers are teammates as well, so going to be a little bit of a shakeup going into Talladega.
Absolutely. You know, a track like Talladega, anything can happen there. That is going to be a crapshoot. Anyone can win, and that could be either a disaster or a holy grail in terms of a points night.
Yeah, and especially for like a team like DUI, with having a couple drivers that can possibly influence that race heavily with controlling lines and everything, kind of lining up and making sure.
Is absolutely a key factor at that racetrack.
But we will worry about that next week.
Absolutely, yes. Let's worry about the finish of this race before we get to the next one, as the pace car will come down pit road, and we get ready to take the green flag yet again. Green flag is out here at Charlotte as we come to 15 laps to go. Dylan Clark, a big start, a big check up there at the back of the field, really kind of strewed everybody out.
Yeah, it seems like the 82 is struggling to get going here on these restarts. Stacked up the inside line that last time, and then this time as well, it seemed like. So, wonder if having a shifter problem. Is Dylan Clark able to run away a little bit, but David Gerard Jr. keeping up with him here. Could see a two-car battle with Carson Burrows and Deegan Nucutis.
Carson Burrows up into the top three after an abysmal I don't believe he actually not an abysmal qualifying effort. I don't believe he qualified at all. I believe at the back there he did not take a time in qualifying, so he's had to work his way up this entire field, and boy, you just wonder what could have been had he started up at the front.
As actually David and Carson both did not set qualifying times.
Oh, maybe that's the way to go from now on, because here they are running second and third.
Yeah, just kind of watching as we have Deegan kind of putting pressure on the inside of Carson here, going through 1 and 2.
Yeah, side by side, the 23 of Deegan Urquidez and the 12 of Carson Burrows going into turn 3. Burrows will power around the outside and hang on to the spot there and will maintain third place.
Seemed like Deegan got a little bit loose up off of turn 4 there and slid right on along the back bumper. We'll tuck back in line and see if Deegan can remount a charge here.
Kind of go a little bit of a higher line there around the outside to try to get a little bit of momentum here. Looks like carrying him down the backstretch. Not quite enough momentum to get to him, though. He'll have to try again in the front straightaway.
As it seems like the 51 has caught the 34 slowly this lap.
He has. He actually picked up about 1/10 of a second that lap. Now he's only about 2/10 back of Dylan Clark. So will we see a battle for the lead here coming to 10 to go?
Yeah, I would say definitely could see one.
Is in the wall in the back of the field. That red car got into the wall.
And it seems like the fresh tires has helped out a little bit, as they have driven from 11th to 12th to 8th and 9th, but not enough. They're running about the same lap times as our leaders, so
side by side for the 6th position on track. That is the one of Casey Thompson, the 22 of Gunther Gretzinger. The one of Casey Thompson has had a relatively quiet night, but he has worked his way up slowly. Started dead last in 18th and is all the way up to 6th. A great run for that one car.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to Gunther here. Gunther is sliding. I wonder if he has some suspension damage and isn't able to fix it, as Max Ford is pulled up to the back bumper of Gunther.
Ever since he started at the front of the field a couple of restarts ago, he has been dropping like a rock.
Yeah, he's been a couple tenths slower each lap, so yeah. Wonder if he just got some suspension damage. As we look back up front, Carson Burrows and Deegan Urquidez battling.
Urquidez just took the 3rd spot from Carson Burrows that time. He's now the front running of the DUI cars, who have had some unfortunate luck tonight. Jacob Clemens lagging out of the race. Jeffrey Seymour getting DQ'd. Deegan Urquidez is the only driver from that team remaining, and he's putting up a good effort here.
Yeah, Deegan flying the DUI banner proudly in the top 3 as he just kisses the wall there. That gives Carson a run down the front straightaway.
Burrows to the inside of Deegan Urquidez here. That's for the 3rd spot. And it looks like he is maybe going to clear. Oh, just barely. Deegan Urquidez is going to get a solid run on exit. They'll cross him over. Going into 3 and 4.
But Deegan slides up a little bit off the bottom. That's going to give the run to the 12. A little bit of contact.
My goodness, that is a tight battle side by side there for that 3rd position with 6 laps to go in this race as Urquidez clears in front of the 12 of Carson Burrows.
Let's see if Deegan's able to remount the charge back up front. He was the fastest car before he clipped that wall. Now he runs the middle of the racetrack. Carson running the bottom here.
This time by, we come to 5 to go in the race. Does David Durant have anything for Dylan Clark?
They've been mirroring each other's lap times pretty much every lap this run. And I've noticed David's kind of running different arcs off into the corner, trying to figure out something to get a little bit of a run, but nothing is materializing for him.
Maybe he should start blinking a little bit to try to get some clean air on the nose.
Something. It seems like nothing's really working. They're so equally matched right now.
Side by side once again for 3rd position. Deegan Urquidez gets 3rd place back again. These two are still side by side, letting that 67 of Peter Hope back into this battle as well.
Yeah, Peter was able to reel these 2 in. One of the faster drivers on track right now.
Come around here to take 3 laps to go, and Dylan Clark has opened up his lead by quite a bit. So this is the battle on the racetrack to watch at the moment for 3rd. Peter Hope has now gotten himself involved as well.
Yeah, as these three battle for the last step on the podium. Apparently these drivers really want to talk to us tonight.
Absolutely, yes. This is the battle to see who gets to talk to us in that final podium position.
Oh, Peter get the run. Oh, Deegan slams the door, but not enough. 67 kicks it wide open.
Give it a hope. Look at that run. He might get a 2 here. He's going to slide up the racetrack. Might open the door for 3 wide for 3rd position.
No, unfortunately, Carson didn't have enough of a run, so he's going to push the 67, then slides up to the top. This is letting everybody come back. Max Ford's here.
Max Ford's here. Gunther Gretzinger's here. Meanwhile, Dylan Clark will take the 1 more lap to go. Final lap of this race, and look at this battle for 3rd.
As we have 5 cars for 3rd here. As Gunther, I don't know where he found the switch again.
To Max Ford. He looks for a second like he was going to try to go 3 wide. Thought better of it there. Burrows dives down to the inside.
Oh, the 67 give the 12 push.
Out of turn 4, taking the checker flag, Dylan Clark will win the DC Designs 150 as they crash across the start-finish line. For 3rd place, Max Ford will come home with 3rd.
And Gunther Gretzinger gets 4th. All of a sudden, like, Gunther found his speed again. He was the fastest car on the track that last couple laps.
A massive incident coming to the line in the battle for 3rd place. We're definitely going to have to get a replay of that one. Fireworks in the air and fireworks on the racetrack. As Deegan Urquidez does a burnout for 5th place.
As I believe we were 4 wide off of turn 4.
That might be why we came back to carnage. We go to Dylan Clark winning the race, but by the time we come back, everyone is wrecked. Let's take a look and see what happened. Oh, yeah, look at that. I think the 67 of Peter Hope and the 23 got together. Oh, wow, it just became daytime, I think, briefly. Yeah,
some great racing throughout the field.
Looks like the 67 might have tried looking for a hole that just wasn't there.
Yeah, everyone just was trying to find every inch they could find. The 67 helped the 12 there in the center of the corner, but unfortunately did not on the exit of turn 4. It's kind of hard to find a good view of this. You see the shove from the 67 there.
This was for the win. My goodness, what an event that would have been there.
As Gunther just squeezes through to get P4. I think the worst one out of that one was Carson Burrows. Going from 4th to 6th.
Here's we have some fireworks going on in the chat. Ironic enough, not related to that last lap accident. My goodness, fireworks in the air, fireworks in the garage area as well as, boy, what a race we had here tonight, Cody.
In Charlotte, this racetrack always puts on a great race, especially with these cars. And we see it here again. And whatever iRacing has done to the track model this year for 2024, it's produced some great racing, no matter if it's this car, the Xfinity car, the trucks. All the NASCAR side of things have been absolutely great, having multiple lanes of racing.
Absolutely. Charlotte has been a fantastic track, one of my favorite mile and a halves. Let's take a look here in the waiting room. I don't see anybody just yet waiting for us. But while we wait for everyone to populate the waiting room so that way we can interview everybody, let's take a look at the final finishing standings. Dylan Clark wins his 4th race of the season here tonight, Charlotte, in the DC Designs 150. David Durand Jr. will finish in 2nd. Max Ford rounds out the podium in 3rd. Gunther Gretzinger 4th. Deegan Urquidez finishes the top 5. He actually came across the start-finish line spinning. Carson Burrows in 6th. Peter Hope in 7th. Brianna Lavin 8th. Casey Tomlinson 9th. Nicholas Fortini in 10th. June Gonzalez 11th. And Aiden Cobra Bria in 12th. 13th is Wesley Woods, Chris Wilkie in 14th, Ryan Hartunian 15th, Josh Mertz 16th, Jacob Plum in 17th, and Jeffrey Seymour rounds out your field in 18th. We have a few drivers populating the booth. For the time being, why don't we bring up our 2nd place finisher, David Durand, to the ASM booth. David, this is Cody and Ethan in the ASM booth. You got us?
I do.
Well, David, that was quite an eventful race there. Started at the back in 17th. Just take me through your race there as you crawled all the way up through the field.
Just trying to be patient. I mean, 100 laps goes by really fast here, so didn't put a qualifying lap down, so I didn't really care about that. It was just a matter of just trying to see how everyone else is running and how they're pushing their cars. And so I was able to just get through the field, and yellows came out at the right time, or at that stage. I was kind of staying right up front there and just trying to keep up with the other guys. As the run progressed, when the car got in clean air, it was really easy to drive. As long as just trying to save the tires there, and if it would have been interesting if we had green flag stops. That could have been a game changer, because I think as the run progressed, I was catching up the leaders. So I mean, we'll take 2nd. It's not a big deal. Congrats Dylan there. Wish I would have had enough room at the end, but 2nd place is pretty good for a first start.
Absolutely. You mentioned that is your first start in the OSRL Cup Series. The 2nd place finish is certainly nothing to scoff at. Looks like you might have had something there for Dylan Clark. I mean, do you think at some point maybe was it dirty air that necessarily hindered your progress up to him?
I think he was able to save his stuff a little bit as the last handful of laps. Dirty air had something to do with it. When you dirty air in these cars, they're really tough to drive. So I think it's just patience. If there was another maybe 10, 15 laps, I may have had a chance to probably get up to him. But, I mean, the short run, he was just flying. So, like I said, so 2nd is nothing to complain about. Just sucks being behind that dirty air, because it's a pain in the neck in these cars.
Absolutely. Well, Cody, you have any questions for our second place finisher?
Just first off, congratulations on getting up here to P2 for your first race here at OSRL. And are you looking to be a one-off, or are you just coming to run the rest of the season?
I'll be here the rest of the season. Minus next week I'll be on vacation to Vegas. But after that I'll be here for the rest of the season. So just want to see how, like I said, how these guys drive. Some of them are pretty crazy. I feel like I had a 10x in the first like 10 laps. Just can't get away from anybody because everybody was pushing their cars. So next time I'll definitely qualify so I can at least stay up front or at least be in the vicinity so I don't have to deal with any trouble.
Well, with that, David, anyone you'd like to thank tonight for your performance?
Oh, just thanks for you guys at the broadcast. I was watching the broadcast on the right-hand side. You guys are doing a pretty good job, so keep up the good work. Just want to thank Radius Racing, let me be part of their team. I'm happy to keep racing for those guys every night I have a chance for a race, and just congrats to Dylan on the win. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. We look forward to seeing you more often there, David.
Thank you, guys.
Right, that was David Durand, your second place finisher. With that, why don't we bring up our third place finisher? Let's bring up Max Ford to the ASM booth. How's it going, Max? This is Ethan and Cody in the ASM booth. You got us?
I got you.
Well, Max, just take me through your race there. Qualified on pole, ran at the front all night. Looks like you had a few run-ins there with the wall. Just take me through your race as a whole there. Looked like you had some pretty good speed tonight.
Well, coming before this, I knew that no matter what on my exit, I was going to plow tight. That's how I made my setup. And whenever I was trying to push, I would always, skim the wall or whatnot. But for the first 23 laps, I think I led pretty dominantly, and then started to fall off a little bit, and then had a good battle with Dylan until we figured out how to pass me on the outside. But that's how basically I played my stage one, was just run long, try and get a good jump, and then save a little bit at the end. And then stage two came around, and I wanted to give myself 30 laps because that's the window I was, I guess, prime for me for my tires and everything before I started falling off heavily. And I pit 72, and I come out on pit stall, and I see you guys spinning, and the caution comes out, so I'm a lap down, but I got the lucky dog, and then I was always working my way back up, and I don't know who it was in the restarts, but I think they started in third gear always, and it basically gave me a setback of at least 2 seconds to the people in front. But at the end there, I think it was 97, I was a second and a half behind fourth place, and then lap 99 comes around, I'm half a second, and it just kept going. It started trimming down each lap, and then I saw them in turn 3 slid up the track. I was like, oh shoot, I actually might have a shot here. And coming off of 4, they're still too wide, and I duck it down low, and I guess someone on the outside hit someone else, and it caused a wreck, but somehow I got P3, and I'm not going to question it out of that race.
Absolutely no reason to question it. Sometimes racing is just as much about luck as it is about skill, getting a wreck there on the outside. Now, I do happen to notice there, your last name is Ford, and you drive a Chevy. Is there any specific reason for that?
No, honestly, I just like the Chevy more of how it does on, I guess, super speedways, but I didn't really go into account when buying the cars to buy a Ford, and so I kind of just went with a Chevy, and I might get a Ford later, but right now I think the Ford family is happy with the choice I made.
That's amazing. Cody, you have any questions here for our third place finisher?
Yeah, we noticed that last caution you came down pit road to take tires. Do you feel like that was helped out tremendously, or was it kind of a wash with the tires? We had about an 8-lap difference there.
Well, when I came in, my tires were at 98%, so it obviously had a difference, but I think if I were to stay out, I think I would have done better because I did not have to deal with that guy who was slow off the restart. And so I think that would just give me a better chance. But if he wasn't there and I just had my pure tires, I think I got a shot up to maybe at least P2, maybe to get Dylan, maybe. But I think it was a help after I cleared all the shenanigans in the back.
All right, well, with that, Max, who would you like to thank for tonight's third place performance?
I always do the Ford family and the manufacturer Ford for allowing me to drive a Chevy always, and yeah, they're big supporters of me. So
Absolutely nothing like Ford providing you with a nice Chevy car to be able to take to the racetrack every week. Well, Max, we hope to see you next week at Talladega. Congratulations on the third place.
yeah, thank you.
All right, that was Max Ford in the sixth. And with that, well, I think you guys know who we're going to bring up at this point. Let's bring up a familiar face, Dylan Clark, to the broadcast booth. How's it going, Dylan? This is Ethan and Cody in the ASM booth. You got us?
I got you.
All right. Well, Dylan, I would personally like to give you an invite to be able to just come broadcast the races with us, because you always end up in the booth here anyways every week. As you're here yet again, another dominating performance. Just take us through your race there. It looks like I know at some point in the race, at least you might have slid through your box there, got mired back at fifth, but that clearly didn't take too long for you to work back from.
Yeah, I believe I was under caution. Yeah, coming through the pit box, went too far, and then I backed up, but I didn't back up quite enough, and so I had to do it all over again, get from first down to reverse and back up some more. So I missed my box twice, and then came out in fifth, and basically just tried to buckle down and make up as much track position as I possibly could in a short amount of time while the tires were fresh and I could still follow. This car, it's difficult to pass. You guys saw that. You could get side by side with somebody, but it took a lot to clear him. I just got fortunate. He washed up a bit, snuck underneath him, and went off sailing.
With that, Dylan, I know we read off pre-race. I know you had a special name on your car here tonight. Just take us through how it feels to be able to get that win for your grandfather who was riding with you tonight.
It's awesome. He's still a part of my life. He's an awesome guy. Served in the Marines. Probably one of the most bad A dudes that I know. Nothing scares him. He's awesome. Super nice guy. It's awesome to ride with him on the car and get a dub in his name.
Absolutely, that is an amazing story. Cody, you have any questions for our yet again race winner?
As you've picked up now numerous races and you're kind of able to look onto the playoffs, is there any race in the rest of the schedule you're really looking forward to running?
I'd say Las Vegas is probably one of my better tracks in the playoffs, so definitely looking forward to that one. Darlington and Phoenix really aren't my great strong suits. I can get by there, but I'd say Vegas is probably my number one track where I'm probably the best there. Honestly, it's one of my better tracks besides Watkins Glen, and I'm definitely looking forward to Vegas. That's my favorite track.
Yeah, as we've seen, you're pretty good at the mile-and-a-half program side of things.
Yeah, it's I put a lot of time in early in my career in this car at mile-and-a-halfs. It took a bit to make an adjustment, but I'm starting to pick it back up again. Still trying to figure some things out, but all in all, it's coming to fruition so far.
Well, with that, Dylan Clark, is there anyone you'd like to thank for your fourth win here of the season?
Orpac, everything they do in real life. Hayden Holmes, Italian Motors, Talcart, Therma-Tru Doors, all those guys who help me out in real life racing. It's a lot of fun. As you notice, there was a new sponsor on the car this week, Catalyst Driver Development. They help out in real life as well. Learned a lot from them, setup-wise, driving-wise, so hoping to get better as a driver. You guys were putting on an awesome show every week. OSRL for everything they do. DC Designs for the beautiful paint scheme that you see here tonight. $30. I know it's kind of steep, but it's honestly it's a great paint scheme. He does great work. And my parents for giving me this awesome sim rig.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming to talk to us, Dylan. I look forward to being in the booth with you next week, as well as you'll likely be here again. So,
Hopefully,
Talladega, yeah.
it's a crapshoot there. We'll see.
All right. Well, congratulations on your win, Dylan.
Thank you very much. Hope to see you guys next week.
Right. And with that, that wraps up our driver interview portion, as we get to speak once again to Dylan Clark. With that, let's kind of wrap things up here. Real quick, let's dive through the programming notes. As mentioned before, the OSRL Cup Series Race 7 at Talladega will be next week, June 11th, and next Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern. You will be joined by myself, Cody Erdmann, and Victor Vallee in the production truck. OSRL GT Series Season 5 will be kicking off June 13th. That is next Thursday. The track is to be determined at the moment, but it's very likely to be Daytona. So we will be getting you more information on that as we go along. Cameras all season on ASN are brought to you by Whiplash Simcams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/whiplashmedia. Thank you, Andrew Cardinal IV, for your continued camera support. Ready to leave your competition in the dust? Look no further than DC Designs, your ultimate pit stop for custom racing paint schemes that scream speed and style. Visit Dylan Clark on Trading Paints for all the information regarding your next paint. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe to the Automotive Sports Network on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and ring the bell to be notified of our live streams on Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, along with our shorts, courtesy of Jess Rakowski. With that, Cody, let's get some final thoughts here. What are your final thoughts on the evening?
Definitely a really good race here. Fairly clean, good, hard racing. Everyone respected each other. Didn't do anything too crazy out of the normal, but absolutely exciting finishes. We're kind of watching the replay here for P3, and seems like the competition is starting to step up their game a little bit, trying to catch up to Dylan Clark here. He still dominated, but wasn't as like we've seen in the last couple of weeks. So I think once we get to the playoffs here, some of these drivers are kind of figuring out what Dylan's doing, and we'll see if they can give him a run for the money for the title.
Absolutely. And next week we go to the behemoth that is Talladega Super Speedway. So will Dylan Clark be able to get a 2-second lead there too? At this point, he might as well, but we will find out. It is going to be a great race next week, as we had a great race tonight as well. And so far, OSRL Cup Series has looked fantastic so far. Really looking forward here to the playoffs. And with that, the checkered flag falls on the evening. From all of us at the Automotive Sports Network, from Jess Rakowski, Victor Vallee, Jared Lott, Chad Irvine, Philip Kraus, Justin Robichaux, Cody Erdmann, James Watson, Brian Sawyer, and Josh Mertz. My name is Ethan Halsey. We hope you enjoyed today's coverage of the OSRL Cup Series tonight from Charlotte. We congratulate our winner, Dylan Clark, on his 4th win of the season. And until next time, so long, everyone.